Every year, the magical kingdom of Clyrode calls upon hundreds of heroes from different worlds to battle the Dark One and his demon army. Benaza, summoned from Paluma, is among them, but there's a problem: he's just an ordinary merchant. Lacking magic and combat skills, Benaza is stranded in this foreign realm after a mishap prevents his return home. Rejected by the kingdom's king and left to fend for himself in a hostile land, Benaza's prospects seem grim. But what will happen once the failed hero candidate finds himself with super cheat powers once he hits level 2? Without wasting any time, let's dive into the first episode of this anime. Our story starts in Paluma's royal capital, bustling with demi-humans loading cargo. Amidst the haste, a man threatens them, but Benaza arrives, expressing gratitude for their labor and generously compensating them. He insists they deserve fair pay for their toil, disregarding societal divides. His actions bewilder fellow merchants, viewing his egalitarian approach as peculiar in a world where demi-humans are marginalized. Despite their skepticism, Benaza stands by his belief in equality, sharing his earnings without discrimination. As the demi-humans depart, Benaza's peers brand him a hypocrite, contrasting his actions with prevailing prejudices. Undeterred, Benaza aspires for harmony between humans and demi-humans, albeit his maid remarks on his solitary stance. Suddenly, an inexplicable sensation grips Benaza, enveloping him in radiant light before vanishing, leaving his maid bewildered. Benaza finds himself transported to Clyrode, greeted as a hero candidate by the kingdom's saint, marking the commencement of his journey in this new realm. The saint urgently informs Benaza of an impending dark army threatening their kingdom, seeking aid from heroes summoned across dimensions. Benaza, asserting his identity as a humble merchant, doubts his heroic status, but the summoners insist on assessing his magical potential. According to lore, summoned heroes are bestowed divine favor, their powers transcending ordinary mortal limits. Placing his hand on the magic crystal ball, Benaza's mundane stats appear, disappointing the onlookers expecting a chosen savior. With Benaza's unremarkable level 1 skills, doubts arise about the summoning ritual's efficacy. Suddenly, a divine revelation alters the narrative, amplifying each skill to an unprecedented 999 points. Realizing Benaza's unexpected prowess, the summoners implore him to safeguard their realm with his newfound immense magic, acknowledging him as the hero their kingdom desperately needs. Benaza pleads with them to send him back to his old world, but his request falls on deaf ears as the people ignore him, leaving him to wander the castle alone, grappling with disbelief at finding himself in another realm. Seeking clarity, he approaches the king, only to learn from his retainer that the gate through which he was summoned has closed, trapping him in this unfamiliar land indefinitely due to insufficient mana power in his world to reopen it. Offered residence in the Dalleaves of Forest under the condition of secrecy regarding the summoning mishap, Benaza is dismissed as a hero and dispatched to the forest. Along the journey, he attempts to glean insights about this world from the demi-human accompanying him, only to be instructed to remain silent until they reach their destination. Benaza, accustomed to the concept of slavery in his own world, is surprised to learn of the absence of such oppression here, where humans and demi-humans coexist harmoniously. Arriving at the Dalleaves of Forest, the demi-human presents him with a bottomless bag, a gift from the king intended for Benaza. Benaza is relieved to find the familiar bottomless bag in this new world, its contents providing him with essential items like money and food to sustain him. The demi-human advises him to leave the forest swiftly for his safety, a warning Benaza tucks away despite his lack of knowledge about the kingdom's geography. As he delves into the bag, Benaza discovers it functions just like its counterpart in his world. He examines the bestowed sword for protection, only to be startled by the appearance of slimes. Initially dismissing them as harmless, Benaza is compelled to fend them off when they pose a threat. To his astonishment, Benaza's stats display a level up from 1 to 2, defying what he had been told about the world's level cap. Intrigued by this development, he notices an infinity symbol among his skills, prompting him to activate a newfound ability to communicate with the system. The system enlightens him about the magic spells he has acquired through leveling up, revealing unexpected capabilities waiting to be explored. Benaza is astonished by the multitude of spells he gained simply by defeating the seemingly insignificant slimes. Despite his newfound power, he prioritizes finding a secure haven in the forest for his protection. However, the system alerts him to the forest's contamination with molybdenum, hazardous substances emitted by demons. Curious, Benaza inquires about molybdenum, learning of its harmful effects on humanoid races. Undeterred by the risk, he instructs the system to purify the forest, willing to sacrifice a portion of his magic power for safety. Witnessing the system's formidable purification magic, Benaza is amazed by its potency and his subsequent level up. Meanwhile, within the royal palace, the first princess berates the king for neglecting the summoned hero candidate's well-being, fearing his demise at the hands of the Dark Army. Dismissing Benaza as inconsequential, the king shows no concern. However, a saint's revelation about recent use of the highest holy magic, purification, in the Delaves of Forest shocks the king, prompting suspicions about the hero's involvement. In the forest, Benaza is amazed to discover he's leveled up without battling any monsters. He speculates that using magic might be the key to leveling up in this world. Curious about his magical reserves, he asks the system to display his remaining magic, and to his astonishment, it's fully restored. The system suggests a shapeshifting spell, anticipating its usefulness. Benaza agrees, and the system transforms him first into a hot girl, then into a man he deems inconspicuous. Delighted with his new ability, he requests teleportation back to the kingdom. After returning, Benaza realizes he can't use the magic to return to his world, prompting him to seek employment at the Adventure Guild. Inside, the guild lady explains the registration process, prompting Benaza to provide a false name, Fleo. She assigns him a badge, crucial for determining an adventurer's rank. Fleo obliges and approaches the quest board to find a suitable task for his rank. To his surprise, he encounters a young girl pleading for an escort to the Delaves of Forest, offering payment as her family resides there. However, the adventurers around dismiss her request, fearing the forest's demon-infested reputation. Taking pity on the girl, Fleo accepts the job, astonishing her with his willingness. To reassure her, Fleo mentions his teleportation spell, sparking disbelief among the onlookers. This revelation makes Fleo realize the spell's significance, reserved for advanced sorcerers, not novices like him. Suddenly, Royal Knight Balarasa and her companions appear, challenging Fleo to prove his claim. They express skepticism, deeming such magic beyond his capabilities. However, Fleo stands by his assertion, prompting Balarasa to demand an explanation. Apologizing for her skepticism, Balarasa listens as the girl reveals the forest's malice has vanished, adding another layer of intrigue to the situation. Just as Fleo is about to reveal his role in purifying the forest, the system warns him against sharing information with demons. The girls, armed and ready, encircle the little girl, who is exposed as a demon using a disguise spell. Balarasa identifies her as Fenris, the younger sibling of Fengarl from the Infernal Four. Recognizing the danger, Balarasa acknowledges their inferiority against such a formidable demon lupine. Fenris unleashes her Melicium attack, incapacitating the girls. Surprisingly, Fleo remains unaffected by the assault. Enraged, Fenris attempts to devour them, but Fleo rescues them with teleportation magic, resolving to confront Fenris alone. With determination, Fleo vows to utilize all his magic spells to combat Fenris and protect the kingdom. This brings an end to episode 1. More of the anime episode will be uploaded in my channel, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.